Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Kentucky's Attorney General says the state is doing more to help victims of crime. Daniel Cameron joined people that are using their trauma to help others during a crime victims fair at the state capitol. It came as Kentucky marks National Crime Victims' Rights Week. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what took place on the Capitol steps in Frankfort today.
Many came to the Capitol Wednesday with a lot of different stories of hurt, saying they can use what happened to them to help others.
There is never going to be that magic wand that just fixes it, but collectively we can all make it better.
Organizations established to help crime victims gathered for the fair on the Capitol steps, hosted by the state attorney general.
I'm a survivor of rape back in my early 20s, and 2019 I kind of felt the need to come out and start helping make change.
She and others work with the attorney general in using their own trauma to give others hope.
Estimates show that 1 in 4 Kentucky women have been stalked, which at times has placed Kentucky in the highest and second highest rates of stalking in the nation.
It was said today that historically the criminal justice system has paid more attention to suspects instead of victims, that victims are simply told to trust the system. But a prosecutor said today that times in Kentucky are changing. Attorney Amy Clymer-Hancock says prosecutors are now focused on victim-centered, trauma-informed prosecution.
This means that while prosecutors are seeking truth and justice, we are also ensuring our victims are heard.
Cameron says the state has used millions in federal grant money to train hundreds of victim advocates. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Cameron says a manual on strangulation crimes is being developed to help people better understand the trauma caused by those crimes. An unlikely incident may have saved a Woodford County woman's life. Listen to this crazy story. Peggy Bentley was sitting inside a home Saturday when she was shot in the face by a stray bullet. She was able to call for help on her own. It's what doctors found at the hospital that shocked Peggy and her family. Bentley has a brain tumor that was found during a CT scan to find the bullet. Officers determined that 27-year-old Joshua Owens had fired the shot. They say he was outside shooting at animals. Police arrested Owens and charged him with second-degree assault and possession of methamphetamine.
Gorgeous sunshine continues around the mountains this evening. We've seen plenty of sunshine and plenty of mild air working on in. We remain below normal for those daytime highs, but it still feels pretty nice. Temperatures around the region, we'll get to those in just a second. First, let's talk about how our camera at I-75 at Mount Vernon has not a single cloud on it. Beautiful blue skies out there. Downtown Whitesburg, I see, I think, one cloud there in the upper left-hand part of the picture. May not even be coming across on your screen, but it's coming across on mine. Sitting at 65, those west-northwest winds keeping the cool air in place, at least relatively speaking, that is. We should be about 73 this time of year, and many of us are in the low to middle and even occasionally upper 60s around the mountains. Satellite and radar showing a couple of clouds across portions of West Virginia, nothing we have to worry about. Still, keep that WYMT weather app handy because things will be getting chilly as we head through the nighttime hours down into the 40s as we wake up in the morning. Now, coming up in just a bit, I'll have the details on when we could see warmer air and showers move back into the forecast. That's in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, thank you, Evan. Governor Andy Beshear made a stop in Pike County today to make some major announcements. WYMT's Jordan Mullins has more about what those announcements could mean for Pike and surrounding counties.
Governor Andy Beshear paid a visit to Pike County Wednesday with some major announcements. One such announcement is a regional licensing office in downtown Pikeville. to offer several services to the Big Sandy region and other surrounding counties.
To get their driver's license, to get their real ID, to get their CDL, to take that driver's license test. And with the change that was mandated by the legislature and the clerks for Kentucky, we're having to do the work to create these regional centers.
The office will also offer driver's license testing by Kentucky State Police, offering the test closer to home for some folks.
There's been a lot of folks who've had trouble getting driver's license testing appointments all the way in Floyd County, handling several counties. So that is going to be a huge difference for all of the folks in my district.
Governor Beshear also announced a $770,000 grant for the city of Pikeville to assist in economic development.
Our economy in Kentucky is on fire, and we are at the precipice of a level of prosperity that we could have only previously dreamed of, and we got to make sure that Eastern Kentucky is included.
The city plans to buy and lease equipment to one incoming business, a business that will create around 50 new jobs.
We want to create not just good jobs, but good jobs of the future right here in Eastern Kentucky. Far too often, this region's been left out. It will not be as long as I'm governor.
Assisting with economic growth and making sure Eastern Kentucky is taken care of. In Pikeville, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, the new business to be added to the Pikeville area is Appalachian Tanks, an aluminum tank manufacturer from Canada, and it will be going into the Kentucky Enterprise Industrial Park. It's been 2 months since Russian forces first invaded Ukraine. Troops have now moved into the eastern part of the country, and those who live in Kyiv are starting to make their way back to the capital city. A former Lexington Herald-Leader reporter shared their accounts of covering the conflict there. Frank Langfit is an international correspondent for NPR now. Langfit has been traveling the past 2 months, reporting the way the war is changing politics and security architecture across Europe.
We thought, well, maybe there'll be Russian tanks in the street. But you can see no Russian tanks. The Ukrainians have been very successful. A lot of that has to do with the incredible amount of arms that have come from NATO and from the United States. It's been probably one of the biggest arms lifts in modern history.
Langfit says one interesting way the war has differed from others he's covered is that Russian troops did not take out the internet or power the day they invaded. He was still able to do all of his reports for NPR on the ground using his phone and iRig. The Lexington Herald-Leader reports that the Kentucky Board of Medical Licensure revoked the license of a Pike County doctor. A state panel claims that Crystal K. Compton overprescribed drugs, ignored signs of addiction among patients, and did not provide proper treatment for some health problems. Her attorney said Compton denies any wrongdoing. Before being reinstated, Compton must complete an assessment of her clinical skills and pay more than $29,000. The revocation is effective May 23rd. 2 Eastern Kentucky health organizations hosted a recovery festival to bring awareness to addiction and to provide resources to those in recovery or needing help out of addiction. WYMT's Dakota Makris reports.
It is what organizers are calling the first annual Recovery Festival in partnership with Mountain Comprehensive Care Center and primary care centers of Eastern Kentucky.
What I see when I work with people in the community is people want to help, but sometimes they feel like that because they've never been an addict, they've never been an alcoholic, that they're not able to help, but that's not true.
At least 15 different organizations came out to the Perry County event, hoping to help those in addiction stay on the right path, along with promoting healing for those who are in addiction.
Not only the people that are here, but the different organizations, so that whenever I have someone that needs a service that I can't provide, I can reach out to them and we can work together as a community.
Perry County Sheriff Joe Ingalls says addiction is a real issue in the county, saying they cannot arrest themselves out of the problem.
It's hit us way harder than COVID ever did here in Perry County and Hazard. We're kind of the epicenter of this thing.
Saying events like these are crucial.
You get those people that's addicted, you get them rehabilitation and get them better. They're not going to be committing crimes anymore. Saves the system money, saves people from being locked up.
Working to end addiction in Eastern Kentucky. In Perry County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
A representative with Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky tell us they are working on a residential treatment center for women and men in Big Creek. They are expecting the women's facility to open in July. This morning in Berea, EMS members were brushing up on their CPR skills and learning some new techniques. The training was provided through the Resuscitation Academy based out of Seattle. Instructors call it high-performance CPR. They say it takes a basic understanding of CPR techniques and takes them to the next level.
Really by creating a network of lighthouses and of members of the network who can reach out to people in their own communities, they are able to improve survival wherever.
And first responders say it's especially important here in Kentucky, where survival rates are below average. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30. Comparison shopping for prescription medication is a critical task for many. We'll show you how one of the biggest retailers in the world stacks up after entering into the pharmacy fray.
And gorgeous weather continues tomorrow before changes work in. I'll have the latest on those changes next.
WYMT News app offers alerts on